in part 3 of our review 1. Our first problem is a multiplication problem. Notice the parentheses side by side. So we'll just do the multiplication and then count up the negative signs. Remember, for multiplication or division, count the negatives. If you have an odd number of negatives, you get a negative answer. An even number of negatives, you get a positive answer. So if we did our signs first, we have 1, 2, 3 negatives. 3 is odd, so our answer will be negative. Then we will do our multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6, times 4 is 24, times 1 is still 24, and we had already done this sign. Problems 18 and 19 are both division. Remember, they can be written either way, horizontally or vertically. You will still have the same sign rules we just mentioned in problem 17. That's true for multiplication or division. So for 18, we'll count the negatives. There are 2. That's even, so it will be a positive answer. And 36 divided by 9. 9 will go into 36 4 times. We said 2 negatives. That's even, so a positive. Number 19. This one is stressing your rules about 0. Where is the 0? You are not allowed to divide by 0. They're trying to make it look like it's going to work, putting a sign there and everything. But if the 0 is under or if it's after the divide sign, it is undefined. And it would not get a sign. I will throw another problem in here. If we had this one instead, 0 on the top is okay. This one is 0. For the next 2, you want to be sure that you learn the difference between these two problems. And the only thing that you see that's different is one has a parentheses and one does not. In order for the sign to be carried up to the exponent, it has to be in parentheses. Only the piece that's right beside the exponent goes to the power. So in the first problem, because there's a parentheses, everything inside is your base. So your base is actually the whole negative 4. That is what you have 2 copies of. And then it's a multiplication. You multiply, count your negatives. That's 2. It's even, so it's positive. For the second situation, without a parentheses, the negative does not get to go to the power. So for this one, only the 4 is the base. So you have 4 times 4. When you're all finished, you have 1 sign. And so this one only has 1 negative. That's odd, so it will be negative. So they give you a different answer, and it is determined by how many negatives you end up with, but whether it's included or not. For problem 22, you have to learn to watch between whether you have straight lines for an absolute or curved lines, which is just holding a sign in. So the first one here has straight, that is absolute, has a special meaning. So just this piece of it, not the sign outside, says how far is negative 7 from 0? It is 7 spaces. That takes care of the absolute. You still have a sign outside. I would just carry it over, whatever is out there. Right. The next one, this has no special meaning. It's only holding a sign in there. So this says opposite of a negative 4 gives us positive 4. Notice we could not do that up here because absolute value has a special meaning. You would have to do it first. Next, we have some order of operation problems. Remember, we do parentheses first. That means with math inside. Exponents second. Third level, multiplication or division left to right. And fourth level, addition or subtraction left to right. So when we look in this problem, the parentheses don't count. They don't have math inside. There are no exponents, so no level 2. Level 3, multiplication or division left to right. We do have those. Here we have a multiplication, so we'll do that one. 25 times 1 is 25. We can also go ahead and do any more multiplications or divisions. So 25 divided by negative 5. 5 into 25 will go 5, and you only have 1 negative. That's odd, so it will be negative. Right. Don't forget your first piece there. Right. That is an addition problem now. And with addition, you just watch your signs, like or different. These are like signs. Like signs are going to add, keep the sign. Another order of operations problem, and this one has nested grouping symbols. So the parentheses inside the bracket, both are grouping symbols. You start at the innermost set and work your way out. Also, this one has another separate set of parentheses. They could go on the same level. I'm just going to start at the bracket and work from the inside out, finish it, and then go there. All right, so I'm on the innermost set. So I have 3 minus 6, or 3 and a negative 6. Different signs. Subtract, sign of the larger. So that's going to give me a negative 3. Right, I didn't change anything else there. So I still have the one outside. I'm going to keep a little parenthesis so I don't lose a sign. And I'm going to bring everything else down. Right, inside my bracket, this is that minus and negative together. Remember, whenever you have that, it gives you a plus. So we have 7 plus 3 inside, which gives us 10. 10 is the answer to the bracket. That's all the work. Check around it before taking it off. There's no exponent, so that's good. There's no number right here beside it. So the bracket can come off. And now we can go work on the parentheses. It's the same level, so it's okay to do it right there. You are working inside. You are not touching this exponent yet. So 2 minus 3, or 2 and a negative 3, different signs. Subtract, sign of the larger, gives us a negative 1. I'm going to keep it in parentheses because I still have that exponent, which applies to the whole thing, including the sign. Right, my second level is do your exponents. So now I'm ready to work on this piece. Negative 1 to the third power means 3 copies of negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 gives us a negative 1. And I'm going to bring everything else down. And if I want parentheses on this, I could have them. Right, and then it's all add and subtract. I will go left to right. So I'll start across 12 minus 10. It's okay just to do that and get 2. Or if you want to do signs, 12 and a negative 10, it will still give you 2. And then here we have different signs. Subtract, sign of the larger. So will give us a positive 1.